So explain this one a little bit.
Well, so like I want to say yes. And if you say yes, so like, let's just say if your roommate, right? And this is just this example here. If you say yes, like your roommate finally learned to replace the damn toilet paper roll the right way, because there's a right and a wrong way. We don't have to get into that debate tonight.
That's a
I want
whole
to see
other
that in the
debate.
notes. I want to see it in their patch notes. You know what I'm saying? So you could put like fixed, under the fixed or no, patch note or bug fixes, emotional dumping via 3 a.m. voice notes. You know what I mean? He kept telling you, fixing the toilet paper roll. If I have, and let's keep everyone accountable. If I have to evolve, so does everyone else. It only benefits everyone else. I have to evolve with my patch note. Everyone else needs to evolve with theirs. We have to help people fix their bugs.
Get ready to light up and level up with High Level Chronicles, a captivating podcast that brings together gaming, cannabis, and engaging conversations.
What is up, levelers? Welcome back to another update ready. I want to say emotionally patched episode of High Level Chronicles, the only podcast where your inner dialogue needs a software update, your weed tolerance just got nerfed again. I'm your host, Chris, currently running version 4.3.1 after a minor life update that includes better hydration, fewer panic scrolls through Reddit at 3 in the morning. And with me, as always, the co-op partner who still hasn't fixed the bug where he forgets he's mid-sentence. Paul, what's happening, bro?
Hey, I'm doing pretty good, man. So
Now, see, here's what's funny. The automatic software we have is going to automatically delete that silence. So
ah,
it's going to put it together, but I can maybe work on that.
yeah,
It's like you were still buffering.
right,
You know
right,
what I'm saying?
right.
You're still,
Yeah. No, dude, life is good. I know that we are getting later into the year with some preseason football. So,
yes, sir.
you know, that's how I know it's gonna get cooler. That fall's my favorite season. We are not there yet, but the signs are there.
Summer's my favorite. And I feel like it's been short. It's feel like it's rained all summer.
That's also true.
It's been crazy. The weather's just been insane over the last month. It's I don't know. I guess that's when you have a pool and all you want to do is get in the water on the weekends when it's nice, it seems to rain every fucking weekend, every time. And it's like, I don't know.
Getting out there in my kickball games where it's still like 105 heat index and shit like that, you know. Yeah, do it, get a
Yeah.
little tan, you know.
You had kickball just the other night
We
on
had a
one of the
double
hottest days
header.
of this week.
Oh my god, we were down 3-7 going into, like, the last 2 innings, and then we tied it up and down again by another run. We were a home team, last kick, got the 2, runs we needed in a walk-off fashion. It was a lot of fun.
Love to hear it. No better way to wrap up a game like that. All right, man. Before we dive into today's topic, patch notes in real life, so to speak. What do you say we hit up the leveled up segment?
Yeah, absolutely, dude.
Yeah, man. Y'all know this is where we check in with you all, the levelers, the community, to see what you all have been leveling up on, both in cannabis and the games you're getting into, maybe a show or movie you're watching. We asked you on highlevelchronicles.com, HLC Podcast 420. Paul, why don't you tell us what came back with some of these this week?
Yeah, we actually have a number more than usual this week. So we start things off with at Lagspike Larry07. He says, smoked on some cherry runts and ended up 3 hours deep into a character creator in Baldur's Gate 3. Never actually played the game, just made hot elves. And let me tell you, as someone who's played Baldur's Gate 3, the character selection there is
I have
more
not.
in depth than anything I've ever seen.
Really?
You can even choose, there are a number of different dicks that you can make for a character.
What?
Yeah, never seen that before. Like usually like, oh,
What
like,
is the point of that?
well, sometimes you
Do you
can
gain
walk around
extra
naked.
XP?
No,
Do you
no,
gain extra
it's
XP with a
all,
bigger cock running
there's
around?
nothing there except just aesthetics.
Wow. And people run
Even
around the game with just their cock swinging.
I may have done that when I played with some friends who had to enable their nudity blockers.
Wait, so that's a thing. So kids
Yeah.
could
Oh yeah, yeah,
be
yeah.
blocked. Okay.
So
I
plus
mean,
you've got
again, that's an 18 plus rated game, but we know
It's
kids play
mature.
every
Yeah,
game.
for sure.
What I'm saying. That's cool. I've
No.
never played it, so
Well, you've
that's funny.
played
But for you to
Expedition
say about
33. It's very
yeah,
similar.
but for you to say that it's one of the most highly customizable games you've played,
I've never seen
that
anything
tells
like it.
me you've never played Undisputed or WWE because your characters you can create, you can do everything from shadows to everything on the face to, I mean, fully customize. I mean, the only thing you can't customize, I guess, is their genitalia. But so I guess
No,
it has the one up on that. But I don't think I'd ever be doing that
I
anyway.
mean, yes, I've never played that, so but I like to see the different features.
Heck yeah, it's crazy, man. I literally the first time I played Undisputed because I created my character to go through the whole
Right.
career mode, and I think I spent probably 3 hours creating my character. And still, I finally just got tired. I was like, okay, whatever. I'm gonna give him this tattoo here and say, fuck it, I'm done.
Yeah,
So
it depends
it
what
can go
mood
on
I'm in.
forever.
Sometimes I'm just like,
Yeah.
whatever, I'll take whatever random customization, and then other times I get in there like really trying to, but then you barely even see your face, like, so especially if you're like covering it and stuff. So it's like, what did I do this for? But
Especially in boxing, you're setting your face all up just to get fucking bloodied and
right,
swelled up and shit, so it don't even matter.
yeah. Um, and then we also have at Baked to the Future says been puffing on Purple Panic and rage quitting Mario Kart every time my 6-year-old nephew hits me with a blue shell. I'm not proud, but I did throw his controller into the couch. GG's.
Nice. Dude,
Rage
Mario Kart
quitting Mario
World.
Kart. There's always, well, the thing about Mario Kart and the blue shell is, there's always time to get back in it, unless you're just, you know, have no skill. But
You sure about that?
that's the whole point of the blue shell, is to get people who aren't doing well to get back in there. And all
Oh,
the
you're
people,
talking about for them to get back in. I thought you meant for whoever got hit with that blue shell to get back in it.
well,
Not
sometimes,
really, because I wait and use my even the red shell, because the red shell locks on as well.
right?
But I'll wait right till I'm close to, till I know they're about to get close to the finish line, and then I blast them so they don't have time to
Well,
recover, and
yep,
I'm just
then there's no
pew,
time. Yep.
right on by
Yeah.
first place,
I've
baby.
seen people get real
I'm giving away
dirty.
my tricks. I should charge you all for these tips.
And then at Toke Shaman 69 tried Ghost Train Haze before hopping into Dead by Daylight. Screamed so loud when the killer popped out, I startled my dog into peeing on my Xbox. Everyone's traumatized. Ah, that sucks, dude.
Well, I can actually
Can you
feel
relate?
you. I can relate. I feel your pain because Dead by Daylight is one that I play pretty regularly. And yeah, I have more than my fair share of jump scares on that game. Even though I know I know everything about the game. I've been playing since 2016, almost 10 years now since it came out, and I still certain killers, certain things freak me out and give me anxiety worse than shit. If I'm ever playing the pig, I'll have anxiety the whole fucking time, mess everything up, and I'll still get jump scared. Or Michael, yeah,
Yeah. And
I feel
then,
that.
yeah. I've never played it, but I
Oh, it's so fun. You should get it, dude. We should play
being
together.
afraid while playing a video game.
We should play together. Dude, it'd be fun.
Then
What if
last
I buy it for you and gift it to you through Steam?
how much well, I mean, yeah. I mean, what is
I
the
don't know.
premise of Dead by Daylight? Is it just like a zombie shooting game?
It's not even a shooter. You don't shoot anything.
No? What do
So,
you do?
all right. So here we go. Yeah, now we're talking. We're cooking now. So, Dead by Daylight. It's one killer. You can either be killer. You can either be a killer or survivor. One killer, four survivors. There's a total on the map of 7 generators. So, generators like you work on, right? Outside to power your house, right?
Sure. Yeah, okay.
The generators are all dead. The premise of the game is you're locked on in the map with whatever map it is. The exit gates need powered up for you to exit and get away from the killer. But in order to power the exit gates, you got to power up at least 5 generators. So in the meantime, while you're trying to find generators, because you don't know where anything's at, you're trying to find generators to do, everything makes noise. And then you have a killer hunting your ass. And you can get hooked twice. Like first time they grab you, they can take you and put you on a hook. you get saved off the hook by somebody, or you can try to escape,
My.
like a hanging hook, like you're
Right.
hanging.
Yeah.
So once you get lit off, you can get hooked twice. If you get hooked a third time, you're done. You're dead. Or you can run certain perks, the killer can, to where after the second hook, they can just fucking kill you. Like they have a special, it's called a Mori, that each killer has, and it's a special feature that shows you it's like cinematic, getting tore up or whatever it may be by this killer. But the goal is to power up the exit gates, everybody escape. In the meantime, you have to evade a killer. And also there's some chests around and stuff like that. You can find perks in, like a health kit to, mend yourself, because you can't heal yourself unless you have a med kit or a perk to allow you to. So you have to find somebody else to heal you. So you can get a med kit and do it yourself, or there's toolboxes in these chests that you can, they make working on the generator a lot faster, right? So you get, but they're only limited. They only have so much power to each of them. So you can only use it so much time, or a flashlight where you can blind the killer. Like if you drop a pallet while the killer's chasing you and they have to kick the pallet to get through it, you can blind them at the same time and then hopefully get away where they can't see you. But
Okay.
if it ends up like, say they hook everybody and you're the last one, then you don't have to power the exit gates up. There's a hatch, one hatch in the game, and the hatch is in the ground. And that means you can sneak and jump through the hatch and escape instead of powering up the exit gates. But the killer can also find the hatch and close it and lock it to where you can't use it. And then you have to power up the exit gates. It's
All
fun.
right,
Like I
all
said,
right.
it's just like a survival. It's just like a survival game, really. So it is. It's not a shooter. There's no shooting or nothing unless you count the flashlight in the face. Blind you,
Is it
bitch.
all real people?
No, there's a bunch of no, but not really. No, those are only licensed. There's only licensed killers and survivors. But the game never had those in the beginning. Like not until like year 3 did they get a license for stuff. So there's a bunch of originals, characters, killers, all this stuff. It's fun.
No, I meant like real people playing, or is it like computers?
Oh yeah, it's all real people.
Yeah.
Everybody you play with is real. Yeah, there's
Okay.
no. They ever like if they have an event, like they have these events where like it's 8 versus 2, like 2 killers versus 8 people. If it doesn't find enough players within 45 seconds, now it's the new thing. It'll automatically throw an AI player in, but for the most part, it's all real people. It doesn't want you to wait, because that's what everybody complained about the most was the wait time. Sometimes it
Yeah.
took a while to find a match. Now it's I don't know. It's better now. Depends on what time you play.
All right, cool. Well, we have one more too. At Edible Air, tried a 50 milligram homemade brownie. That's a nice dosage. Booted up
That
Minecraft.
sounds like my dosage.
Forgot how to craft a bed. Spent the whole night hiding in a dirt hole and reevaluating my life choices. 5 stars.
That's another game I've never played.
I've seen the movie.
Minecraft.
It was terrible.
That Jason Momoa.
Jason Momoa was in Jack Black. Yeah, not a great movie. I lit up and watched that, and I was like, nah, that couldn't even make it good. But the game, I know that's never got into it, but I know that it was like number 1 for a long time.
Did enough pixelated games in my history to not want to play pixelated games anymore for the
Yes.
most part, unless it's a throwback.
Right.
Yeah, that's just. I get it though. It's popular. A lot of people love it. Dig your hole.
Yeah,
And whatever.
and that seems like a chill game that you can just kind of melt into.
Yeah.
Unless
Or
you
like Animal
forget
Crossing.
how to craft a bed. Yeah, that Stardew Valley.
New Valley.
Yeah,
Royal
one of those kind of
Match.
games. Yeah.
Well, big ups to everyone who sent those in. If you want to be featured on the next Leveled Up segment, hit up the site, highlevelchronicles.com, or slide into our DMs on social at HLC Podcast 420. Let us know what you're getting into. Paul, before we get into it, we got to talk about ourselves. So I guess I'll start this, with this time. I'm leveling up on my peace pipe here on some Collins Avenue, classic Collins Avenue. Nothing special there, but in my joint, I have Crybaby OG. That shit, man. I love it. Gives you that nice, like, cerebral high. The only downfall to it is it will give you the fucking munchies. It's one of those strains that just makes you want to eat everything. So moderation is key when taking that one, or it needs to be really late. So I just go to bed because it's also an indigo. So it's, it works out in the end.
Right.
But, so yeah, smoking up on that. I've been trying to level up on Black Myth. I know we talked about it, I think, a lot last episode, but since then, I think I told we were having an offline conversation, just, randomly like we do. And I had said I was on, I don't remember where I'm at at the time. I think I was at I was at the Buddha boss where he turns into gold in chapter 3. And I think you had said that's the final boss for the chapter.
The chapter, yeah.
And I had said I'm stuck because the whole entire game, this whole entire time, I'll be honest, The whole entire time, I have not changed my skill tree stuff, whatever, my sparks at all. I've always had what I had and just slowly started leveling up something else. I decided, I think I told you, I was like, I wish I could change my skill tree because there was just things like with him, I've read you have to use build your focus points up to break his gold to be able
Mm,
to get him out. So I'm like,
right.
okay, well, I got to change my shit. I don't have, don't really have any of that. So I finally went back. I changed my stuff. I beat him on the first try.
Yeah.
Like,
Sometimes that's all
so
it takes.
now I have this new setup that I just completely changed everything. Just went off. I don't remember what I saw. Somebody suggested it on Reddit or some shit. Probably one of those 3 a.m. scrolls to just fill up your martial arts tree, like completely. Just fill it up. And
Hmm.
then use your other stuff for immobilization and your pluck of many or your
Yeah. No.
extras.
Yeah.
So that's what I did, bro. Everything is so much easier to fight right now. Like, I'm like, wait a minute, I fucked up. I should have been doing this a long time ago. Like,
It can. It can make a big difference of
when
where
you're
where you
doing
decide to level up.
if you use the I don't remember what stance it is, smash stance, the basic one, you can spin your shit. I think you can do it on any stance though. Spin your shit and block projectiles and everything. When you level up that tree, you can use that as an attack and just blah, 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 blah.
I've seen videos of that. I've never been able to do that though.
That's what I'm
Yeah.
doing. That's what I did with this fucking dude. It was like nothing. Like you know how they on that Buddha, there's like 2 cut scenes. Usually every time. So for the first, I swear I fought him like 20 times before I beat him. Like I would get him maybe a quarter of the way down, and he would start his first cut scene. Never made it to the second one except the last 3 tries before I switched my shit up, and that was about the halfway point when he did the next one, like whatever, where he grabs you, does
Yeah, it
what you
wasn't
can't do.
always at the same point. Like I think it's supposed to be a certain level of health, and then it triggers a
Well, see,
cutscene, but
here's the
it's
thing:
kind
when
of
I
wonky.
switched my shit up and went into him, he didn't trigger the first one until he was below half, and the last one until he had literally like a smidgen of a hit left. It's like I beat him so fast they couldn't keep up with getting the
Wow.
cutscene in. Dude, it was insane. I was like, holy shit. Like, what have I been doing?
He was my favorite end boss. I think I really loved chapter 3. Chapter 4 was kind of a letdown after that, but it's still like the whole thing is just so much fun.
That's where I'm at now. It's chapter
Yeah.
4. So either way. So I've been leveling. I did that some, but I started playing a game I never thought I'd play, but it's actually fun as shit. Is Rainbow Six Siege. Been out forever, but it's free on Steam right now. Hey, you can get it for free. And dude, that game's fun as shit. It's not like I thought it'd be like Call of Duty. I got away from Call of Duty just because I can't keep up with all the fun nonsense. Whatever. I'm
All the
whatever.
rank stuff and
All that
yeah.
everything. But Siege is like relax. It's like not relaxed, but it's a much more. It's like a relaxed Call of Duty. You know what I'm saying? You're defending. You're just basically sitting, waiting. Defend, doing your special shit. But
It is a
it's been fun.
siege.
Been playing that, so it's been pretty fun. Watched Happy Gilmore too. Did you watch that shit?
No, not yet.
Oh,
Is it
dude,
good?
it's good.
All
I
right.
mean, it's not the first one, but it's good.
Wow.
There's like I don't know, fucking 30 cameos in that bitch, if not more, maybe more. I don't know. There's a lot of cameos, and you really have to watch some of them. Like
I've been looking
it's
forward
good.
to it. The first one was just so great.
And we just finished the Madness. You seen that?
Madness, no.
It's on Netflix. It's a limited series. It's about it's good. It's good. It's like I don't know what 6 episodes or some shit. It's about a guy that gets framed for murdering a white supremacist. The
Oh,
black guy's
shit.
black, of course, and he gets framed for murdering a white supremacist, and he's trying to fix his name, so to speak. And it's good. It was a good show. Just finished it, so
Nice. Well, yeah, I mean, I've been doing Wukong too, so I'm on the last chapter, which is insane. It's different than all the other chapters. I won't give too much away, but it's a lot of fun.
it's a fun game.
Yeah.
I'm
Also,
surprised how much
yeah,
I like it.
yeah, I got back into some of Blizzard's RTS with StarCraft 2 and just got my ass handed.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't know who's playing a game that came out in 2010 and 2025 that's just learning, but every time I come back to it, I'm just like, oh shit, like how do what do I do again? And just I don't know. Maybe I'll try to stick back with it, but I got so into it at one point in time that like I'd start sweating, like if I'm not building certain things by certain times, and I'm like, what am I doing? Like just getting so stressed out. But it's a lot of fun though to come back to it every once in a while. And but watching the Foundation season 3 came out a couple weeks ago on Apple. Um, Honestly, I think is the best thing I've ever watched. I think I might have
Dude,
talked
you
about
saying
it.
about a lot of stuff.
No, Foundation. I mean, Breaking Bad, Walking Dead, Game of Thrones, all great shows. It's not the Foundation though. It's
And
just
what's the premise of it?
so it goes over hundreds of years in the future of this guy through some like complex math equation has said the fall of this galactic empire is inevitable unless certain things are put in place and that the universe will go into this dark age, and he's trying to set up this a foundation to not have the universe go into a dark age. And so it goes over hundreds of years, and the emperor is always the same person. He just clones himself over and over, and there's always a young one, like a one in his prime and then an old one, and they just recycle each other every so many years. And so like at this point, the emperor's name is Cleon. He's like, I'm Cleon 25. Like I've been cloned 25, but there's issues with the clones, um and there's like a pirate that's trying to take over the universe. And so it's just it goes over a lot of years, and the main character can survive all these years because she'll go into cryo sleep, and then like several hundred years will pass, or dozen years, and then she'll like come back. And so she
Sounds
lives
like
while
it'd be
all
a
the other
good video
people.
game.
Yeah, for sure. But it's a lot of fun to watch, and I'm so glad that it's back out for a third season. It's just amazing. And while I do it, sometimes I get some blackberry lullabies, very like uh big indica that you feel really good, and then it just puts you to sleep. So whenever I was like, oh man, I need to go to bed. I got to wake up early. Just pop one of those. I'm out, and I have the most restful sleep. That's why it's called a lullaby.
Nice. Well, you ready to get into it?
Let's do it.
Today's episode is all about patch notes, but not the ones that fix frame rates. We're talking personal patch notes, bug fixes, new features, known issues, all the weird life updates that feel like we just hot swapped our personalities while high. But I say we start with bug fixes. These are the things we've either intentionally worked on ourselves or somehow fixed by accident. I think everyone knows, at least I hope you listened to the last episode, that about updating the computer. We both updated our computers actually,
Yeah,
but mine was due to numerous bugs. So I patched that bug. What else have I been doing, man? I don't know. I patched the bug where I answer work emails in my head, but
but not sending
I don't
them.
actually send them or type them. It's the same thing. It's not just emails too, man. It's also like Teams. Like that's what we use a lot for work.
Right.
And like, I'll even say like, I'll be like, oh yeah, I got to send this message right now to whatever. And I'll say, yeah, I'll swear I did it. And then the next day I'm like, man, I got an answer back. And then I look and I'm like, I never sent that message.
Dude, that's so
In my head
funny.
I did, but
There was
I
one
guess
time
it didn't get
where
anywhere.
I was at work and I was there kind of early, and someone else came into the office and they're like, "Hey, good morning." And in my head, I'm like, "Hey, good morning," but I never said anything. And she's like, "All right, damn, I guess it's not like." And I was like, "No, I'm so sorry." I answered you in my head. I just didn't say it because I was like working on something, and I just didn't follow through on that. But that's really funny.
Yeah, I've done that same shit back when I worked on Fort Detrick back in the day. I used to be one of the first ones there in the morning because I wanted to be done for the day. So I was there at 6:30. And half the time I was, out of it coming in. I was out there, before they even raised the flag for the day. But it happened plenty of times. I thought like I walked past somebody and I swear I said good morning or whatever. And then I was thinking about it and I'm like, did I say anything? When I get back to my desk, I'm like, I don't know. Then I'll end up later on that day seeing the same person. And I'm like, hey, how are you doing? Like, well, now you want to talk to me. Like, oh, I swear I thought I answered you, but maybe not. It was too early. I wasn't out. I was out of it.
Now, doing it with your emails though, that's a risky game there.
It sucks. I hate emails as it is. I think half the emails don't even need to be sent that I get. That's why I like Teams. If I need something, I'm not going to send an email. I'm sending you a direct message right then and there. Simplest way I can get the answer, get to the point. Emails get buried, especially in my line of work. They get buried in stuff.
Yeah, I mean, we have teams that are working. people have sent me messages and stuff, but they also give us work phones, and it's like, why don't we just text each other? We have group chats. It's definitely the fastest way, especially because I'm in like a bunch of different locations, so I'm not always by a computer. I always got my work phone with me. But I think that a lot of what patching your life comes down to, I think, is discipline, and that goes back to you connect it to a bunch of different things. Whether you're trying to work on your physical fitness, whether you're trying to learn new skills, whether you're trying to be like introspective. I can't remember if you were telling me about meditation. That was something you were getting into. It takes
Yep.
discipline, which I don't have. It's something that I'm constantly trying to work towards because I kind of have my routine, and as you get older in life, that routine becomes more and more ingratiated, and to break out of it just becomes that much harder to change whatever you're trying to do.
Yeah, absolutely. Meditation is definitely takes discipline. And it used to be something I dreaded. Now I don't even think about it. You know what I mean? Like it's part of the program that I'm doing. The people we talked about it on the past episode. That's where it was brought up with the new lifestyle coach and that I hired and whatnot.
Yeah, I mean, something that I'm always trying to look for that used to be very hard for me is physical fitness because I always was like really active as a kid. I was playing a bunch of different sports: soccer, tennis, basketball, football, dodgeball, kickball. Now, talked about that earlier. And then when you grow up and you don't have that kind of natural just kind of running around with a bunch of kids, it takes effort to figure out how am I going to, still fine tune my body and have that become part of your routine. And recently, one of the things that I found, I can't remember if I mentioned it on or off the podcast, was rowing. And that's become my new thing where there is just so much muscle that go into that, from arms, core, glutes, your back, your legs. Like, it's kind of like a full body workout.
And it's funny you're saying that because that was literally one of my workouts this morning was cable row. Well, cable rows. You're talking about rowing.
It's all kind of, yeah, this kind of
It's
the
all
same
the
thing.
same, but
Yeah.
dude, it works everything. Yeah, for
That's
sure.
that's my thing. I do 30 minutes, and I started
So
in
you're on like a row machine.
yeah, where I sit back and kind
Yeah, I'm
of
talking more cable rows like on a weight machine, but it's still the same thing. It's just with a lot of weight compared to cardio, essentially.
well, yeah, I mean, I did some the last night, and just was sopping at the end of 30 minutes. And I'm
Do you have one?
no, I
Do you have?
no, I joined a gym earlier in the year, and I kind of hurt myself in like February. And like, I don't remember if I talked about it or not, but I was like, I couldn't walk for like a month, like because my leg couldn't straight out. I find out
Wow.
recently a piece of bone in my knee chipped off and is like rattling
What?
around in there. Yeah. And it got stuck at my
How the fuck
hamstring.
does that happen?
I don't know. I assumed it was from working out, but I really don't know.
You bet on your knees too much, bro. You coming out. Okay. All right. We know now.
Yeah.
Truth is coming out.
So
The
like
truth will
running is
set you
tough. I
free.
also have like shin splints and stuff. So
Yeah, I ain't
it's a whole
running.
thing. But rowing really uh just gets me going. And I started, I'm like, I do 6,000 meters in like half an hour. I was like, is that good? And they're like, it's actually like 7,400 meters in half hours healthy. So I've been working my way up to try to beat that and get into like, but
You got to start somewhere.
yeah. So I'm working on form, working on endurance, like, I'm just like, you can't just keep just like that doesn't really do anything. You got to have it a little more measured. And so did 7,600 the other day. And I was like, there we go. Like, we're back up to like where Google says is a healthy, row time or whatever. So, but it's, and once you get that down,
So you sticking to a schedule now?
well, a little bit. I mean, I'm up to about 4 or 5 times a week that I work out, give myself some rest time here and there.
But I mean, do you have it on like a schedule? Like a set time? Like mine, right now I'm every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday morning. That's me. That's where I'm at. Same time every morning. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
No, no, I'm not. I'm not sure if you
That's what
could.
you got to work up is consistency. That's the thing.
Yeah. So I need to hold on a second. So I am on call right now. I'm just getting a work call. Can we edit this?
Yep.
All right.
I'm marking it.
Yeah. No. So I don't have a plan of when I go. I usually try to go in the evening because that's when I'm just more awake. I've gone to work, maybe crushed a nap. maybe had an energy drink, and then I'm ready to go at like, usually like 8, 9 o'clock at night. And I know that people say like, oh, I'd rather work out in the morning. It like wakes me up for my day. And then I'm ready to go and tackle whatever. And for some reason, that's just not how I work. Um, I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready for bed. I'm ready to start winding down. I get
I was always the same
exhausted.
way. I always thought the same thing. Like I could never be that morning, never. But now, the thing is, in the evenings, it's easy. Or you tell me if it's easy to make an excuse in the evening. I've had a long day at work. I'm tired, or I have to go stop. I have so many things to do now. Where if you do it first thing in the morning, get up straight to your workout, whether it's at home, a gym, whatever you're doing. If you do it at the same time every morning, you're getting that done first thing and knocking it out of the way. There is no more excuses. You've knocked out your workout. You've knocked out what you need to do. And but I will say, man, it's not just something people say. It does. I feel so much better on the days I go to the gym in the mornings than the days I don't go to like days I work out from home or do my workouts from home, like Mondays and Fridays. Just there's something about I won't wake up in the mornings to do it on Mondays and Fridays, but there's something on those Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays. It just makes the day feel better.
Yeah, I have some friends who I don't know how often they do it, but I know they were doing it in the summer, trying to work out like 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning, before it got really hot out. And I was just like, I don't,
That's a little too early.
it's like
Shit.
early. And but I was like, you know what? I'll join you guys. They're like, why don't we play some tennis? Like really early. The sun's already up. Let's just go out. It's not hot yet. And I was like, yeah, let's do it. And one guy was like, oh, I'm too tired. I can't. So it was just me and a friend of mine. We were just sitting around on a tennis court, and I just felt so sick that whole day. Like I was just like, I woke up way earlier than I'm used to, and then doing a lot of like cardio and physical activity. I was just like, I just don't think that this is not like, I'm sure if I did it day after day after day, my body would get used to that and waking up at a certain time and then knowing what time
That's
to go to
early.
bed.
Even that for
It's
me, I'm
super
like,
early, but
it's crazy though. I know people
yeah,
like within the gym that I'm at that they start their day at 4 o'clock, 4:30 in the morning, and do all kind. I mean, they just have a schedule, and it's like, I don't know how. Like, it ain't no way. I'm dead to the world at 4 a.m. Like, I get up at 6:30 or 6:45, and that's perfect for me. And I've been able to handle that. Be at the gym by 7:30,
yeah.
home by 9 o'clock,
No, I
good
mean,
to go for the rest of the day.
that used to be my schedule when I was teaching, and I'd had to drive down to just outside DC, and that DC traffic, even at 6 in the morning, it's crazy. And so
That traffic's always wild.
had to wake up like quarter after 5 or something like that. And that was just, until, my situation changed. That was just like day in and day out. And it was rough, waking up and then just sitting in traffic.
Yeah,
Um,
that sucks.
yeah.
That was me when I lived in Reno. When I was working out there, we were on base at 7 a.m. But in order to get from Reno, like there's no where the base was, it's literally in the middle of fucking nowhere. Like there's nothing around it. But it's an hour and a half from Reno in the middle of nowhere. And so we had to be up, we were on the like it was like a carpool thing. You met at like the one of those roadside parking lots, and everybody took a van that was by the base that we were on. Carpool down to it, but that was at like 5:30 in the morning to be at work at 7. You know what I mean? That was rough. But I did that all. That was a long. I said I'd never want to do that again. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Fuck all that. That was no way. But I can handle the 6:45 shit. The thing I think with the gym, is you're saying disciplined. I think a big key with that also is accountability. You need somebody to hold you accountable
Yeah. Usually it's
because
just me.
most people can't hold themselves accountable. I mean, everybody,
That comes
we
with the
all need to,
discipline. Yeah.
but that's what, yeah, it's, you have people to hold you accountable though. You'll get you in the ass, start you moving.
Yeah. And I mean, that's, my two friends that were waking up early, they're calling each other, 5:15 or something, trying to get each other up, get each other motivated. And I just,
Bro, let me tell you
yeah.
something. If my friends tried to call me to wake me up, no, wait, hear me out. It's not even about me. If they tried to call to wake me up that early, I wouldn't have a problem with it. But let me tell you something. My wife is gonna throw a fucking fit, and it's gonna come out on me, not y'all. It's gonna come out on me. I ain't trying
Yeah.
to deal with that. No, you wake her up or
Yeah.
wake a sleeping.
I get work texts sometimes from my staff that coming in at like 6, 7 o'clock in the morning, and then like something's wrong. They got to send me up, and then I won't wake up, but my wife will. It's like, it's like your work phone's going off. Just like it's like, oh
That's
no.
me. I can sleep through a phone call.
Yep. Oh yeah. Same.
You mentioned something a minute ago, or just you're talking about the tennis. Made me think. Didn't you talk about pickleball? Do you play pickleball?
I played pickleball before, not a whole lot though, but it's super popular right now,
Well,
and it's
I
a lot
want to
of fun.
play. I want to play, and they literally just built a brand new pickleball court right beside our house,
Putting them
pretty
everywhere.
much.
Yeah, dude, I would
And
definitely
they
play
took the
pickleball. I
old
have a whole
they took the old tennis courts and remade them, redid everything over the winter. That's what they did.
well,
That's all it
a
is.
lot of the tennis courts have been refashioned where there's pickleball lines, but you can
Yep.
play both.
Yeah.
But I see some
Well,
people,
they
they'll
they put a
bring
whole
out
new
their own
mat, a
nets and
whole turf.
stuff.
They did everything.
Yeah, well, good for them.
Yeah, I
But
want
yeah,
to play,
dude,
man. We need to play. We need to. Yeah, probably grab a set on Amazon.
I have 4 paddles. Get the wives out
That'd be
there.
good
Yeah,
cardio.
dude, the one time that I hit around with a few people, but the one time that I was like really playing and we were keeping track of the score and everything, I was pretty winded by the end of it. And you're
Yeah, because
not,
isn't it essentially tennis but in a smaller area and a heavier ball? Of course. I mean, it's like
yeah, it's like a wiffle ball
it's
kind
not
of
as
type
fast paced.
deal. Well, it's like the ball, the speed it will come at you very fast and then it'll kind of die. And then, so you kind of have to anticipate, you gotta learn how to hit the ball. Like, cause I started hitting it like a tennis racket and I just kept missing it. Cause my swing would like, it's like, you can't really do like a full swing all the time. Sometimes you just need to like tap it and tap it hard to get it over. Um, I don't know if I'm really explaining it right, but that's
I got you. I'm just
essentially,
saying, but
yeah.
it's not like tennis where those balls are flying. You really have to be why because it's a little bit slower paced than tennis, is what I would say.
I would say it's slower paced, yeah, but it's a slightly different skill set. I needed to change the way that I was like swinging my paddle differently than my like tennis racket because the ball will die faster, and I just kept missing it like the first like half a dozen times that I tried to hit the ball, and I was just like, and it was kind of embarrassing because I was like, I just
It's no
missed it.
different than playing baseball and softball. You go from one and start playing softball. It's like the first time you start playing softball, you're playing
Mm,
baseball. Everything seems, you're waiting for that fast. You're waiting for something.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, for sure. Slow pitch softball is it's just essentially the same sport, but different size ball, different pitches. Where you're just essentially trying to swing at the fences there.
You got any other bug fixes, man, or you want to talk some new features?
What's going on? New features? What kind of things?
Stuff we're adding to our lives. You know what I'm saying? Either by choice, by accident. One thing for me is a new journaling habit. Um, Never really journaled before, but it helps me. It was something, like I said, with the whole new coaching aspect of my life and everything, something that was recommended. And dude, it does help me dump my brain out before I go like full insomnia mode. You know what I'm saying?
I
So it's been
I don't know if I've ever talked about this here. I used to have a blog. It's called Autobiography of a Madman,
hmm,
and I haven't really touched it in years. But in my 20s, that was something that I used to try to just kind of like whatever thoughts I had, like kind of half baked. Just let me try to understand what it is that I believe in. Like I bounced all over the political spectrum and different thoughts and thought about turning it into a book one time. And now like half the stuff I said, I was like, I don't know if I'd say that anymore. But just kind of it was an exercise that I would and I would send it out like when I would on like Twitter and Facebook and like, hey, anyone have like any feedback about this? Like, do you hate this? Do you like think I'm almost there? And I got some really helpful feedback both on like the blog space and when I would share it out. And I think that helped me when I'm like, in like these formative years where I was like, what do I believe? What do I think is important? What should I focus on? What should I prioritize? And now that I'm in my 30s and have kind of ended that part of my life, I feel that like now I have a lot more self-esteem. I have a lot more um effect in like a belief system and things like that. And so I don't know, maybe that's kind of like a journaling thing, although more in like a public space because I chose to make it that way. But I think that
Yeah, I mean,
really
either
helped
way,
me.
you I mean,
Yeah.
journaling doesn't have to be private. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's just thoughts, essentially.
Yeah. It never even really hit me till you said that. I was like, I guess I did do that for like a number of years. Um, that helped me kind of become have a foundation of a belief sets and things like that. So um but that's something a little older. I think right now, um I had a guy ask me a number of years ago, he's like, "Hey, Paul, do you still learn?" And I was a bit taken aback by that question because I was like, for yeah, like, I enjoy learning new things and facts and things like that. And I was like, "Yeah, like, why do you ask?" And he's like, "I just feel like a lot of people don't learn anymore." And I don't know if that's true or not, but certainly for me, learning it's essential. It's essential to personal growth, to whether it's I think we talked way back. Like I do Duolingo. I'm trying to learn Spanish. Say I'm conversational, but if I saw like a text or something, I could probably decipher what that's saying. I'm trying to learn about the entire history of the Roman Empire, going from the Kingdom of Rome to the end of the Byzantine Empire.
Why the hell would you wanna do that? It's not like you're, a history major or anything.
For me, it's really interesting. It's
Okay.
thousands of
No, I
years,
agree.
and right now, so the guy who did the fall, like the start to the fall of the Western Empire, he finished his years ago, and there's a guy who picked it up and is doing like basically the what we call the Byzantine Empire, the Eastern Roman Empire that lasted like another 1,000 years after the West fell, and their triumphs and tragedies and things like that. So I mean, for me, like that's really interesting. My wife is really into astrophysics and watches a lot of Neil deGrasse Tyson videos and tries to like just throw space facts at me, which are like really cool. But I think especially in this age of like the information age, um, there's a lot of things to know. My friend just watched a lot of YouTube videos and did dozens of projects to his house. Just bought kind of a fixer upper and he's doing, I'll put it in a French drain and I, retrofitted the seal. I was like, how'd you know how to do this? He's like, just watch YouTube. And I was like, that's wild. So I feel like, learning is, I mean, at least for me, it's fun. But I think it just helps, you be a different person and know different things than you did the year before, the month before, the day before.
So part of my, the herd part of the herd program is so there's 4 core aspects to it, right? It's kind of perfect for this episode. It's body, being, balance,
Hmm.
business. And I talked about this a little bit before, but the one thing about that is to learn something new every day. So we should always be learning. So if you're not learning something new every day, well, I don't know, you must not have a I don't even know what to say about that because you have to be learning something. Like you said, even just playing Duolingo, you're learning something. You're learning new words. You're playing a video game. You're learning new moves. You know what I mean? Everybody, you're learning in some type of way. If you're not learning, you're not living. That's
Yes.
a good saying. If you're not learning, you're not living. That's what clip that. Clip that. Tag. Oh yeah, I like
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. I think, yeah, I mean, there's a couple kind of cores you hit on with the program that you're doing. And I think that there's like an emotional intelligence too that I feel needs to be nurtured and cultivated as you grow. Um, and I think a lot of that comes with empathy, which is different than sympathy. Like sympathy, you're just feeling bad for someone in a bad situation. Empathy, trying to put yourself in their shoes. Because you talked earlier, I think in a previous episode, something where a quote that was said to me was, be happy and make others happy. I think we talked about like the meaning of life and things like that. And I think that really just coalesced where, um, you gotta set yourself right first, mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, if that's, a thing that you value. And then you can start to impart that on other people and start to invest in other people's lives and their well-being once you've set yourself up first. I don't know if that's sort of part of what your like kind of program is talking about too. I think you mentioned something similar along those lines, or am I way off?
Yeah. No, it's pretty much, it's that like what you're talking about with spiritual aspect is part of the being.
Mhm.
Doesn't mean you have to believe in one particular god or gods or even believe in any gods. You know what I mean? It could be just spiritual as in you have to believe in something, right? Everybody has to believe in something. And so whatever that may be. And the other part of being is meditation.
Mhm.
They kind of go out. And then so you have duality built into there with that. Your body is first taking care of you. You don't take care of yourself. You can't take care of anybody else.
Right.
You know, we talk a lot as, it's funny, we're a middle-aged man like me, I'm 43. If I'm not strong enough to take care of my family or myself, I can't take care of my family. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So that's what there's a lot of the herd program is mindset, getting your mind, rethinking things. I was actually told I was told something you just said that I don't know how to walk in somebody else's shoes. That hit me. Like I don't know. I've never really thought of it like that. You
Yeah,
know what I mean? Like
for sure.
I always just worry about what I have to do. You know what I mean? Like what's taking care of myself and my family. You know what I mean? I don't so it's a learning process for all that. But that's
Yeah,
a good
but
new
I think
feature.
a way to get to that spot, like walking in someone else's shoes, and something that I was really bad at for a lot of part of my life, and I think I've only recently started to do this, not even consciously, but looking back at it, is it's just listening. Is if I'll hear someone say something, I was like, I totally don't agree with that, or that's a different way of thinking than I have, and I don't know if I agree with that or not. And I think just hearing people out is very powerful. And just taking that beat to be like, what you just said doesn't really compute to me. Maybe that's something I can really jive with. Maybe it's not. Either way, I like to know more about that. I like to peel back what is the rationale of what you're thinking or how you're going about. And that's sort of what I've become like a leader at my work in the past couple years. And you just deal with a whole lot of things. I'm sure you have similar situations with yours, and you can jump to conclusions and make these very rash decisions, and I just feel like every time I've done that I just run into a wall or I make a situation worse. But if I just take a second and just like, I'm gonna hear you out, and then we'll see where we go from there. We can always have, and whether this is work or anything else, but you at least walk away, maybe not agreeing, maybe not thinking that that's the best course, but you can at least understand where someone's coming from, and how they reached that decision. And maybe it's something that's like, damn, I never thought of that, but that's actually a great idea, or that's a great way to think about something that I would have never come to on my own. And if you just, you don't have to do anything except hear someone out and be like, all right, I get that now. I thought we were about to fight, but actually, this is actually, you're really a cool guy, and we can make
We all
something
did
work
that in
or
high school,
something.
right?
That was, yeah, it's such a high
That
school
was everybody in high
mentality of
school.
like everyone's just like, let's go like from 0 to 100. And that's high school. That's not a mature mindset to just fire off, spout off an opinion or a rash judgment and be like, oh, I'm gonna hear you out, I'm gonna see what's
Right.
up. And maybe you are full of shit, but now I know that you are, because I've I've heard you just say nothing the entire time that we dug into this. So, but now I can actually, have a basis behind that. So, but I think that's something, just sort of in the past couple of years, that I've used to fix a lot of life bugs.
What other new features you got?
I think
I
that,
can make it a little less lighthearted. Instead of getting so deep.
yeah, yeah.
A
Sorry,
new
I got really
feature.
deep tonight. I don't really,
No, it's all good. We go. Hey, like this is high level crime. You never know what route we're going to go when we start going. That's why we just go with the flow until it
Well, give me
happens.
some a little less
So
lighthearted.
I got my new home studio complete, and I already have my podcast studio here, but this is well, I should say the wife and I, because she had a say in it all. But it's we're just calling it the studio because it's my drum studio. So I have my whole new acoustic kit set up in there now. It's also our exercise studio. She has a Peloton or whatever, and she has it in there
Fancy,
now.
yeah.
We've had that for years, but we got it, I think, right when COVID started,
Big
but
thing in the pandemic.
she does it almost every day, pretty much. So that's what that is. But doing that, it really it sparked me back up and got me reintroduced. I reintroduced drum and jam time into my weekly schedule now, outside of the lessons. I have my lessons every week, but um, it's just there's something about having that space set up now, and I always just had the electronic kit here behind me. I think most people,
I
if
can
you
see
watch
it.
it on
Yeah.
YouTube, can see it. That's all I've ever had. So now to have my acoustic kit set up, dude, music's been hitting like therapy lately. You know what I'm saying? It's been good. It's not too loud. I was worried about how loud it was going to be. Um, but it's actually not as bad as we thought. So my
I,
drum teacher came over and set everything up for me because I didn't know the first thing about setting up the kit. So he set it all up, spent some time over here. It was a good time. We had a good time. So it was
yeah, no, music's
yeah.
can be really great for clearing your head. I played piano as a kid, and then I kind of messed around with guitars. And I remember one night I got really frustrated with something. I don't remember exactly what it was, and I just kind of came down, and I only knew like a few like chords and some power chords, and like how to start some songs. But I just kind of just jammed out for 15-20 minutes, and felt a lot better after that. And just because you're making something, and I think you're just manipulating the keys, the strings, or drum pads.
Yes,
It's yeah,
sir.
it could definitely be beneficial.
And then I also added more protein to my diet. That's a big new feature because believe it or not, I was on the mentality of I'm working out now and everything, right?
Mhm.
All this stuff, have a good schedule down pat that I've stuck with now for, I'm on week 10 of this program. And part of the program is you have in-body scans every week, which is like this system you go into and you stand barefoot, all this stuff on electrodes, and it sends signals. Right, it tells you everything from how much water's in your body, not just your BMI, but your fat percentage, like all this stuff, and it gives you an overall total body score. It tells you your weights, it tells you your muscle mass, everything. It's like a whole.
I've done something like that.
It's cool as shit. It's really cool. And I started noticing a while back, like few weeks ago, that my weight went down and then went back up, but my muscle mass dropped like a good bit. And I was like, so I went up to that. I was like, why? I showed coach everything. I was like, why is this? What am I doing wrong? Because I was under the mentality of I'll eat less, work out more. It'll help me get to where I want to be faster.
Mm, yeah, it's a
I wasn't eating
common
enough
misconception.
protein.
Yeah,
So when you're working out like that and you have a schedule, you have to take in protein or else it eats your muscle mass, not your fat. It eats away at your muscle mass because it's not. I had to introduce protein to my diet. Now I have like a protein shake right after the workout or something, and protein bar or whatever it may be. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, that's a common misconception that people have, and something that I started. I think last year was meal prepping, and it's the same, more or less the same thing for like Monday through Thursday. Is I cook a dozen eggs. I add like a whole bunch of like spinach or kale or like asparagus. I can change up the veggies, some like lean turkey or ham, a bunch of cheese, and then I cook some chicken breasts on top of that. And I change it, onion powder, garlic, lemon pepper, whatever. Have some variety, and that's just what. And I eat like a quarter of that Monday through Thursday. Eggs go bad by Friday. You don't want to do it
Right.
5 days a week, and then it baffles a lot of people I work with. Even my wife is just like, I don't know how you can eat that every day. And it's just, I mean, it's just protein on protein on protein, but it keeps me, I feel full. I'm not eating a lot of sugar, a lot of carbs, and I'm not going out to Sheets to Chipotle or something on my, I travel a lot like throughout my day, and I'm always stopping. And I still do like for like a drink or, water or something. So you spend a lot less money on I'll spend like $50 a week or more on just like
Yeah,
lunch or something.
easily.
And now
Easily
that and
nowadays.
all of that costs about egg prices, fluctuating, but less than $30. And so you're saving some money there, you're eating better, and it just takes going back to the discipline. I gotta do it every Sunday night. Because if I don't, I miss it. sometimes I can rally Monday night, but I'm busy Mondays, and I can try to do it for the rest of the week. But if I don't do it Sunday night, I'm cooked, and then I ate like shit that week, and it's a mess. So, but protein is so important, and then I have a little carbs at night. But thinking about your diet too, we talked about workout, but not a lot of like our output, but our input too. It's super important. I know a lot of people are on like the Ozempic stuff, and which I think the way that works is like it makes you not want to eat. And so people will be on it, and then they don't eat, and then they don't lose weight because they're kind of like in starvation mode or something. And protein is a real big part of like how you can still get calories and
It'll keep you full too.
yeah,
Like you
and keep
said,
you
it'll fill you
full.
up and keep you going.
Just heard stories like that, and I was like, oh, like protein will fix that as well. So it's very important out there. I know. I think that's all I got. Unless you have any final thoughts.
Well, I don't have final thoughts yet. Well, I have final thoughts, but before we get into final thoughts, you know what we got to get to?
Ladies
Oh,
and gentlemen, levelers, and all you herb aficionados tuning in, welcome to High Court, where the only thing higher than the stakes is us. You've heard the case. Now it's time to spark the debate. Step right up to the only courtroom where the jury's high, the judge is confused, and the verdict is always blazed. This is High Court.
All right.
totally forgot.
It's time to gavel up. High Court is in session for today, man. Should we be allowed to release patch notes for other people in our lives? So
explain this one a little bit.
Well, so like, I want to say yes. And if you say yes, so like, let's just say if your roommate, right? And this is just this example here. If you say yes, like your roommate finally learned to replace the damn toilet paper roll the right way, because there's a right and a wrong way. We don't have to get into that debate tonight.
That's a
I want
whole
to see
other
that in the
debate.
notes. I want to see it in their patch notes. You know what I'm saying? So you could put like fixed, under the fixed or no, patch note or bug fixes, emotional dumping via 3 a.m. voice notes. You know what I mean? You kept telling you, fixing your toilet paper roll. If I have, and let's keep everyone accountable. If I have to evolve, so does everyone else. It only benefits everyone else. I have to evolve with my patch note. Everyone else needs to evolve with theirs. We have to help people fix their bugs. You know what I'm
So
saying?
yeah, so a lot of this sounds like unsolicited advice,
So
and
should we be allowed to release patch note on your wife? Should you let people know?
so
Release
yeah,
patch note.
I think it's certainly dependent on the situation. I have so
Family members.
tough with family. So I have two little sisters, very independent and in like their thoughts and stuff. And so, but I'm the older brother. I'm the oldest, and I've certainly gone through some of the stuff that they have, and or they'll have problems, and I will try
Ladies
to
and
be like, oh,
gentlemen, levelers,
it would be a
and
great
all
solution
you
to this,
herb
blah, blah,
aficionados tuning in,
and a lot of
welcome
the times
to
they will
High
do the
Court,
opposite
where the only thing higher
because they
than the
don't want to
stakes
be told
is us.
from their brother.
You've heard the case. Now it's time
Something
to
that like
spark
I
the
think would
debate.
actually be beneficial.
Step
I'm trying
right
to help
up
a
to the only
situation,
courtroom
trying to give
where
advice,
the
and trying to
jury's high, the judge is
release some patch notes
confused,
for that.
and the verdict
And
is
a lot of the
always
time, and they won't even like say like, "Oh, I think that's a bad idea. I will talk about it." They're just like, "Nah," or "Okay," and end the conversation and then don't follow through on it. And I think it can be tough of if you have that kind of dynamic where I think I have a really good relationship with my sisters, but it's kind of they want to do things their way, and if the older brother's coming in and he's like, oh, I think I know what's going on, then they're not, they don't want to hear it. Doesn't mean I'm not going to try, but I think it can be tough with family, especially siblings who all very competitive with each other. We always got on each other's nerves growing up, and now we're all adults, we're all in our 30s. It's a little different dynamic, but it can be tough. And I don't know if all sibling relationships are like that, and, as an adult, but I can imagine I'm probably not the only one in that situation that is like, I know what you're going
See,
through.
that's why that's why I would say in reality, no, right? Because that's how you start fights, lawsuits, and just like you said with family, Thanksgiving dinner, family
Mhm.
drama. You releasing patch notes right there at the Thanksgiving table. Well, imagine that evening. You start talking about everybody in your family in the patch notes.
You just start talking about the food. Turkey's a little dry, Mom. No one wants to hear
You
that.
try to patch someone else. You're basically their unpaid therapist with a clipboard and a superiority complex.
Now, I will say though, there was a story that this made me think of where I was playing tennis with a guy I didn't really know all that well, but he was, we were both kind of younger at the time. We were in our 20s. And he kept making the same mistake over and over again. It was kind of driving me crazy. I was winning, but I was like, wants like a tip to stop doing that because I used to coach and run tennis programs and stuff.
Mhm.
And so we ended up a point, and I was like, would it be okay if I gave you some unsolicited advice about your game? And he said, that's fine. And I don't even remember what exactly it was he was kept doing that was wrong, but I was like, I think you might want to do this instead of that. And he took it well. And, we played a couple more times after that, but I tried to get some consent first, whereas before I'm just like, hey, you know what you kind of suck at right now? You keep doing this. I feel like there's a way I could have done that would have been very off putting. Even still, even if you ask, it's like, why are you trying to help me on my game when we're opponents? Like, so maybe that, still might not be taken the best way, but, he could have said no. And I would have been like, all right, fine. I'm not going to
See,
do
that's
that.
a big
But
difference in how you would talk to a stranger and how you talk to a friend. It's just your friend. You're like, hey, listen, try this. You aren't going to be like, hey, can I give you something? Nah, if it's your friend, you're just going to fucking tell them,
yes. So,
do
yeah,
this.
with friends who give each other a lot of shit. Yeah. I'd be like, hey, man, stop fucking around. Just, if you do this instead of that, you're going to have a better time with, whatever. But yeah, it's like I said, it's sort of context. I think generally speaking, people don't want to hear advice unless it's someone that like really respects you or you respect them. And, but again, with strangers, sometimes even with family, not saying that, people don't respect their family, but it can be not received well. It's tough. But the best thing is when someone's so I just started working with a guy he went to Towson and I went to Towson, and I was like, oh, he's like, when did you graduate? I said 2012. And he's like, oh, I was in fourth grade. And I was like, that's a crazy thing to say to me right now. You're so much younger than I am. But he's getting married and he has all these questions about
You were
like,
born in the 1900s.
I was born, yeah. And 9/11 is an ancient history thing for him way before he was born. And I was like, am I the old guy in the office now? Anyways, so he was like, I'm getting married. I'm engaged, which I was like, that's also crazy. You're so young. But he's like, these are some of the things that I'm working with and my fiance and there, he's like, I have so many questions though. And I was like, lay them on me. So now I'm the kind of the elder statesman in the room who is, I've been married, we're coming up on 6 years and, have been together a number of years prior to that, 10 years almost together. And so, and he just has all these questions. And I was like, hey man, I've been through this process. I know what's going on. And it wasn't even me being like, oh, I know what's like to go through the whole process, but he's just like, hey, you seem like, you have a good relationship. Why don't you give me some tips? And I was like, absolutely. I love to be that guy. So it's much better to be in the situation where someone's asking you for advice and be like, let me tell you everything wrong that you're doing and how I can fix that. Although some people respond well to that, but not most.
Right.
So
It's accusatory at that point.
yeah.
All right, levelers, let's bring it in. Today, we looked at the bugs still crashing our systems, the surprise traits that updated without permission, and the new features we're cautiously testing in public beta. The real takeaway, you don't need to run perfect firmware. Just keep updating, one little patch at a time. Crash less, laugh more, drink more water. And if you're going to glitch, at least do it in style. You've got your own patch notes to share, slide into the inbox, highlevelchronicles.com. Tag us on social media at HLC Podcast 420. Until next time, stay leveled up. We are out.
Thanks for listening to High Level Chronicles. See you next time.